Today I fucked up by texting my date that I might end up marrying him seconds after we ended our date. Bitch, I owe you an update. Good news, there's so much staring at the ceiling one can do before pure boredom kicks in and the realization that the desire to scream fuck 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 at the top of your lungs will most likely not last for an eternity. Bad news, you guys did me dirty by blasting my still fresh embarrassment on the front page and apparently on a famous Portuguese radio show this morning. Cool. So, on to the meaty love update. Once I realized the text blunder, I quickly texted him that it was not meant for him, with a crying emoji for good measure. Sweet man that he is, he responded immediately to let me know that he doesn't read texts not meant for him, winking face. I subsequently asked for permission to die. He said, please don't, kissing face. This morning, he texted me about some travel plans we have down the line. Bless this handsome man. The gods are cruel, but not that cruel. This is where I should clarify that the original post was obviously a tad hyperbolic, just like that text. Go figure. I slept well last night, and I also laughed at myself, the blunder, just the ridiculous timing. What also got imprinted on me was that exact moment I wrote and sent that text. The moment he leaned and kissed me goodnight, I looking at him as I closed my apartment door, locking it and at once turning around and heavily sighing and smiling, keys still in hand. 2 weeks ago, he had proposed going on a walk at the park. I had an inkling somehow that after knowing each other for 3 years, he was going to finally, perhaps, become vulnerable and share a few things. I had been in a serious relationship when we met, and, what I know now to be out of respect and my ironclad boundaries, he never made any advances. But I was single now, and at the park, sitting there, together, he looked at me and said he had feelings for me. Long time, 3-year-long feelings. And right there at Prospect Park, on a clear night, under some 35 visible stars, we counted, he kissed me. Last night, it was my turn to be vulnerable, even if accidentally. For once, I think I understand Ted. He was always the guy I wanted to throw my shoe at whenever his ridiculous face showed up on the screen, which was a lot. As for the library, I'm not Jane Austen, but I'm a New Yorker, and the luxury of ample space is not something I recognize. My dream as a child refugee, growing up in deep poverty, was to have a dedicated place for all the books I could buy when I would grow up and have money. Here's a pic of my library nook that I built through vintage thrifting, DIY projects and patience, the library. This is it, folks. The update. I might prefer this life over any rom-com. This just happened to me. Literally 10 minutes ago. I am dying. I am dead. End me now. Oh holy ghost. I thought this only happened in some poorly written rom-coms. The kind where life hardly imitates the real one. I want to bury myself and never come to see the light again. Me. Oh, why me? 10 painfully long minutes ago, exalted by the wonderful date I went with this handsomely gorgeous man who also happened to be a friend of mine for the last 3 years, against my apartment door that I had just closed on his bow today I fucked up face. I typed these words that will fiercely haunt me now, bitch. I think I'm going to end up marrying this guy. This was meant for my best friend, the only other soul I could muster to express my vulnerable feelings. I sent this deeply poetic text to him instead. Do you think there is a void big enough in this planet to hold all my misery? All the embarrassment? Do you think I can make a pact with the devil to turn back time? I would just need 10 minutes. That'd be really nice. Can I please die now? Literal and metaphorical death is the only relief I might know. I am currently in my library, sprawled across the floor intently staring at the ceiling. Man, I think I'll be here forever. Too long didn't read. I mistakenly texted my date that I might end up marrying him as we just ended our date. Realized too late the text meant for my best friend was sent to him instead. I am currently in my library, sprawled across the floor intently staring at the ceiling. What is this, a Jane Austen novel? I once texted my girlfriend saying, I want to snuggle with you, only I accidentally sent it to my boss. Wrong thread, he answered. Should have replied, but I really want that promotion. On the plus side, you have a library. All I have is a bookcase and a drinking problem. Wow, we are gonna need a follow-up in a bit. I agree. Hope you have your own library room. My wife did the same thing when we were dating, except she tried texting her friend how much she didn't like me. And yet you're married to her. Today I fucked up when my 5,000 tampons exploded all over the baggage carousel. This happened in 2007, but I have flashbacks at every airport. I was living in Canada and my very frugal Polish girlfriend would complain about how expensive non-applicator tampons are. For men, like me, who didn't or don't know this, there are apparently two types of tampon. One that looks like a little spaceship that helps you launch the tampon up your vajayjay, and the other that resembles a cotton torpedo that you stuff up there without any plasticky assistance. She was very frustrated that, for a bit of tightly wound cotton, you had to pay so much to plug up the old punani. Fortunately for her, I was going to Europe, where tampons were, and perhaps still are, much cheaper. Specifically, I was going to Poland, where non-applicator tampons could be bought individually wrapped and in ginormous plastic bags for a handful of zloty. Always looking to save a loonie, my girlfriend insisted that she place an order with me for as many tampons as I could fit into a suitcase. Ever the loving boyfriend, I obliged. For those wondering how many tampons can be tightly stuffed into a suitcase, it's about 5,000. Little did I know of the carnage I'd face upon landing. As I approached baggage claim, I heard a mixture of confused mumbling and embarrassed laughter from around the carousel. From a distance, it looked like polystyrene packing pellets had come out of some unfortunate passenger's bag. It took a few moments for me to realize that those pellets were in fact my tampons. All 5,000 of my tampons. Strap on my soft-sided bag had got caught on the baggage delivery mechanism, and the bag was old and ragged enough that it tore open like a paper bag. My life flashed before my eyes. My instincts kicked in. And then, like the cheapest, thriftiest, most penny-pinching pole, I launched myself upon the carousel and started grabbing up tampons. I think I must have stuffed a few hundred in my jacket pockets and down the front of my shirt before I even realized what I was doing. Needless to say, I garnered quite an audience, and nobody looked amused. In fact, they all looked a bit alarmed that a scruffy, bearded man was snatching up tampons with no snatch on a wife or teenage daughter to be seen. Bizarrely, I decided at this point that I could probably still get away with pretending it wasn't my bag to begin with, so I quietly skulked away with my other suitcase and headed through immigration. Which, in retrospect, must have made me look like an opportunistic tampon thief. Initially, my girlfriend saw the funny side, until her grandmother, good old Batcha, God rest her soul, insisted I was an abusive partner for having failed to collect them all. I failed her, apparently, and my lack of dedication to my woman reflected poorly on my already wavering image of manhood. Batcha drove me back to the airport and insisted I fess up and try to collect the rest. Which is when I learned that the baggage staff had collected them up, and a bunch of employees had divvied them up to take home. So if you work at YVR and are still plugging up at the expense of my shame, you're welcome. My cheeks are as red as your tampons. Too long didn't read, brought 5,000 tampons from Poland to Vancouver, bag burst open on the baggage carousel and I snatched up many of those tampies like a champ. Edit, thanks so much for the awards and karma. No, we're not still together. Realized I was gay about a year later, can't help but think this had something to do with it. I also wanted to address the NSFW tag, which I added, not the Reddit mods. I did. Would my own boss approve of seeing this on my screen? Litmus test. I decided she'd have no issue with vaginas, menstruation and tampons, as nobody should, but she certainly wouldn't approve of my writing style. In case yours doesn't either, it's NSFW. Some people say the female staff at Vancouver Airport still get together once a year to raise a toast to the tampon fairy. Someone fails at collecting 5,000 tampons without being taken by security, their partner's grandma. Failure. Jesus, I heard about this from my co-worker that works Katsa. She managed to snag a handful apparently. XD not to use, but for the story. In her words, who knows where they fucking came from, but the whole place was covered. Edit, actually, I missed the date. Someone else had a massive tampon-related mishap at YVR last year op, so you're not alone. Never would have thought that this would happen to another person, holy shit. Hey, think of it this way, you're like tampon Santa to those airport staff. Like you said, they're stupid expensive for what they are, and your misfortune crossed one financial burden off a lot of women's list. You're a bloody hero. Bloody hero, what a funny and wonderful choice of words. You are on an airport security footage best of reel, guaranteed. Today I fucked up by showing a new hire what Reddit was. This happened about a couple hours ago and I still want to shrivel up into nothing. So today was a new co-worker's first day on the job, hopefully not her last. My job is primarily male dominated with only a couple female employees and one female manager. Obviously it's nothing against women, it's just not often that we get female applications due to the physical labor we do on the daily. Plus it's pretty much in the middle of nothing. So not many people just stumble upon our workplace unless you already know it's there. I'm usually the trainer for all new employees since I've been with the company and traveled to other locations to train new hires. I've spent all day with my new co-worker, showing her the ropes and just getting to know each other. All is going well and we already started to break the awkward ice/first day jitters. My male co-workers and managers are very loose and carefree around each other. We joke around and talk about pretty much anything with each other. One of my co-workers, let's call him Jack, and I have this run-on joke between each other where we say, "Hey, check out this meme," and it's just an avant-garde porn gif or something vulgar like granny titties off of a subreddit. I had just pulled this stupid joke with Jack, had a good laugh, and proceeded with my training. The new hire and I start talking about what we watch on Netflix, hobbies, and social media. I tell her that I don't have any social media, just a Reddit account. She's never heard of Reddit and I didn't know how to explain it to her. So I decided to just show her what Reddit is. She's literally right next to me as I open up the app, and to both of our shock the gif of the old lady getting absolutely railed was still opened. I immediately closed the app, apologizing profusely, and stumbling over my words trying to explain myself. She just says, "It's fine," and walks away to probably second guess her new job or tell her friend who got her the job about what just happened. I hope she believes my excuse and that I'm not into gilfs. More importantly, her mindset on the workplace. This will be the last time I pull that joke with Jack. At the end of our shift, she thanked me for training her and that she'll check out Reddit when she gets home. I still want to call off tomorrow since I'll still continue training her tomorrow as well. I told her that I'll be posting this incident on r/today I fucked up, so if you're reading this Daniela again, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again. Too long didn't read. Tried to show a new hire what Reddit was and instead showed her someone's grandma getting railed into oblivion. Reddit 1, she made a Reddit account, asked for help on operating the app, and I brought up the incident again to apologize once more. She said she thought it was funny and that she was not offended. We're getting drinks with a mutual friend tomorrow as well. However, I still learned a valuable lesson about professionalism in the workplace. I also learned that this type of behavior happens a lot on purpose. My accident made me realize that there are men that act like this on purpose on the daily, and it's not okay at all for women to have to endure or relocate due to zero consequences of some douchebag that thinks men are superior to women. Furthermore, I learned that there's a lot to accomplish in the safety and comfortability in the workplace for women, people of color, and members of the LGBTQ community. I'm not scot-free from this incident as it will stay with me for all my years in my career to come and uphold the responsibility to make all people love coming to work and not dread/fear it. Please don't just upvote this post for a laugh at my stupidity, but bringing attention to this type of behavior and how it can make someone question their workplace. Sexual harassment is not okay. Discouraging others is not okay. It will not be tolerated, and it must not go unspoken. Edit 2, calling me a simp, a faggot, or a libtard clearly shows that some people don't understand the severity of sexual harassment, and y'all are part of the problem, not the solution. Yeah, I just wanted to give you all just a good laugh at my stupidity, but hearing personal stories from actual victims in the comments and messages made clear to me that my actions can hold a lot of weight on someone. I just don't want to be the reason someone quits or doesn't want to come into work. You just might be someone's reason. Peace. This is the most convincing cover-up I've seen. Well played, Gilf lover. So Reddit is just a bunch of gilfs? Always has been. I had sort of an opposite experience. I hired a guy who had the word model on his resume. I didn't realize that model meant porn actor. Our fax machine wasn't working right at the time, so he offered to take me to the studio and fax from there. At this point I had become aware that he was a porn actor, but didn't really care. So we went to the studio and he proudly showed me his new movie DVD cover. It was his first cover and he was fully nude and I just thought, man, this is wildly inappropriate. It didn't really bother me from a professional standpoint. I just remember thinking, damn, this is crazy. I'm seeing my new employee completely naked. The movie, by the way, was about his character's boyfriend having sex with his father. If anyone was curious, at least it wasn't a movie about his character starting a new job and meeting his boss, when the office fax machine breaks down and the character has a solution. Op was watching granny porn in his free time, accidentally showed it to his co-worker in training, and posted a backstory with it so she can see it and not suspect a thing. And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. I'm just on the lookout for a Today I Fucked Up titled Today I Fucked Up by learning about Reddit on my first and last day at my new job.